Hi everybody, it's Yael, and I'm doing another live stream to demonstrate Lamdu and use the advent of code for that. And the nice thing about the advent of code is that if you have been doing it, you might be already familiar with the questions, and it would be easy for you to compare how using Lamdu is to using the language that you chose and environment to use. Now, on a technical note, I just got a suggestion that I should show the keystrokes I press on the screen as I do this. Thanks, Janus, not sure. If you're watching, you can let me know how to pronounce your name. Then, if anyone knows how to easily do that with OBS Studio, I would love to do it. Currently, Lamdu doesn't have any built-in feature for this. Sorry for the mess today. We have a guest in the house, so we moved all of the junk to my office room here. Yeah. So before starting at 8 p.m. over here, I want to review yesterday's problem because that was a trickier one. Actually, let's start with the problem description from the Advent of Code website. So the previous one. I will look at the new one in 8. It's going to be a surprise to me. So this one basically shows a capture of a terminal session where a user is basically recursively listing all of the files in their hard drive. When there's a directory, it appears like this, and then they would later cd into it and list in it and then exit out. And there's no creative cd dot dot and cd back to that directory again. It's actually pretty uniform. So actually, any CD is kind of like an opening brace, and CD dot dot is a closing brace. You could say with missing closing braces at the end, and then to know the capacities of the directory, you just need to sum the numbers within. Then the question asks stuff about like the number of or the sum of the sizes, recursive sizes of directories smaller than the some amount, and then part two. Actually, it's easier to show in Lamdu. So part one. So this is my solution in Lamdu. I'm calling a helper function that I will show after. Let's move myself out the way though. Yeah, I'll put myself here. Okay, so first of all, I'm turning the input into the directory sizes. Then part one was easy. The ones that are under than 100,000 bytes, just sum them together. Part two was about the capacity was 70 million bytes. In this case, the last item in the array is the top level directory. So the available space is the difference between the total, which is the last one, and the available, which is 70 million. And then we needed to have some upgrade that would require 30 million bytes to be free. So that's how much we have missing. Then we're looking for the smallest directory, which is over this amount. So we filter the directory sizes and we check the minimum. Now, people might suggest syntax or syntax sugar for this. I'm matching on a maybe, and I know in Advent of Code it's going to be a just, and I'm ignoring the nothing. In Rust you have unwrap, and you can get panic. Not sure exactly what's the best way to do this. Certainly it's useful for advent of code. Let's turn on the evaluation so you see an example. In this input example, the directory sizes were these. In part one, we had several ones which were under the size, and we summed them, right? Let's make this succinct again and go. We have 4 minutes, so we'll review this dir sizes. Now this is the tricky part. I'm skipping the first line, which I know is cding to slash. So these are the lines. I'm dropping the first one, and then I'm folding over the lines. Now, Lamdu's fold is nice. As you see, it gets 4 inputs: the list on the left-hand side, the step on the right-hand side, an initial value for kind of like a fold L in Haskell, and what to do at the end, and the way, so you could pass the value you're accumulating on to the continuation function, but you could also form a data structure and have the continuation function hidden within, kind of like common uses of fold R in Haskell. So this is kind of like fold L and fold R fused together. You could also think of it as a fold L producing a function at the end, and you give an extra argument. But this is a bit more formalized, and the continuations in the accumulator have a name. So the accumulator here, I'm kind of taking the cons item from a non-empty list. So this is kind of like going to be a stack of the directory sizes in bytes. And we start with the root having 0 bytes. And then there's lines we ignore and we skip, but there's lines that have size of the file. So we add it to the head and resume, right? Then there are those that enter a new directory. So we take this state, this head and tail accumulator, and we put it, we add another head that is 0. And then if we go back a directory, then I'm expecting the tail here to be non-empty. I have something to cd back into. I'm going to output the current directory value into its directory size. I'm just consing it to the list. And then I'm continuing. I expect it to be non-empty. I'm adding R size to the parent. This is a light lambda, so this would be the parent size, and this would be R size, and I'm using the same tail in the stack. Then in the end, I have